Lions survive another one. It's 16 in a row.
Listen
the
to this
magic
crowd.
number is 1.
And the Lions have captured the Red River Athletic Conference, a berth in the NAIA tournament.
And Southwestern Assemblies of God University will play for the title tomorrow night.
And welcome courtside here at the Schaefer Center. He's Tim Roberts, I'm Rob Price, and welcome back to game 2 of our doubleheader here. And today, 11-1 Lions come in number 2 in the land, 4-0 in conference play. Just tacked on win number 11 2 nights ago against Texas Wesleyan, 86-80 win. And Tim, SAGU is now the only undefeated team remaining in the Sooner Athletic Conference, making themselves quite welcome at home in their first year, wouldn't you say? Meanwhile, USAO comes in at 5-6, 2-2 overall in conference play. They're one of those teams, Tim, that head coach Donnie Bostwick is really nervous about.
Well, he has reason to be. It's the team that the Lions drew in the first round of last year's NAIA National Tournament. Their magical national tournament run almost never happened because of this Drovers team. It's a team that really knows how to play some of the best. Just last Thursday, they beat number 7 John Brown on the road. So this is a team you got to watch out for.
In the win over TWU a couple days ago, the Lions led by double digits for most of the game. Rams closed it to 4 with a few seconds left. Here's some stats for you. They allowed almost 50% shooting on Thursday while holding Wesleyan to 11% from three-point land. They were just 2 of 18, Tim. So perimeter defense was at a premium for the Lions a couple nights ago. Got out rebounded 48-36, won the game really on turnovers, 4-16, committed 9, 0 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, great job. And obviously Monday night, the Lions defeated Southwestern Christian 79-66 on the road. Had a spark of a 14-0 run in the first half that really helped them there. So the Lions have had a really good week, getting 2 big road wins in conference against some pretty decent teams. Again, that Texas Wesleyan game, a big one. They've been a long-time rival in the Red River. They're the 2 journeymen up to the Sooners, so that's a huge win to get against pretty much your arch rival.
I was talking to Coach Bostwick, and he said he's really happy about the play of the team, not letting Rambo take over a game unless he wants to. More on that later, but first let's check in with Coach Bostwick, who's standing by with our very own Tyler Evans. Tyler.
Thanks, guys. Now, Coach, on Thursday, the team was outshot, out-assisted, and out-rebounded, and yet they were in complete control for almost the entire game. What would you say has been the key to this team's success, even on off days like that?
I mean, it's kind of funny to sound, but I mean, I just gonna give God credit. I mean, there's not much excuses for why we got out-rebounded, and they shot 48% from the floor, stuff like that. But on days like that, we really lean on God, you know, and that's been our sole source, and we can continue going to that well.
Now, last week, USAO upset John Brown on the road. What are we going to do tonight to avoid a similar fate?
You know, similar strategy. No Texas Wesleyan. They've got 4 really good shooters, very good athletes. We got to challenge shots, not let them get any second shots, prevent their runouts and easy baskets. Defensive field goal percentage is one of our goals, and we need to hold them under 40% today. Keep them off the glass. If we do that, we got a pretty good chance.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in today's game. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Tyler. Let's look at USAO for a moment, Tim. Right now, they sit in 6th place at 2-2 in conference play. To me, they're a team on the bubble. The question is, will they get to that spot where they're hanging with SAGU, with the Mid-Americas, the St. Gregory's, the John Browns, Oklahoma Cities, or will they fall back into that second tier of teams just really trying to make postseason play?
Oh yeah, again, they've come an up and again, down again team. They come in just at 2-2 in the conference, but they have a huge road win against John Brown.
Yep.
Number 7, beat them on the road in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. So this is a team that knows how to do it. Overall, they average 8.5 3-pointers a game. That's good for number 12 in the nation. That's behind the Lions, though. So they score 81 a game, they allow 81 a game. So dead even right there. They're a team who's 2-2 in conference, and they're dead even on those stats. They've won the last two of their last three, though. They beat Northwood on Thursday, and as you mentioned, they beat John Brown last Thursday.
Drovers opened the season with 3 straight losses. Now definitely playing better, obviously, with the win against John Brown. It was a wake-up call to the entire SAC that this team is not to be overlooked at all. In fact, they gave the Golden Eagles their first loss of the season. Could this be a trap game for SAGU?
It really could be. I mean, obviously for the Lions, you're coming in, only have 1 loss all year. Your team is just firing on all cylinders. You've got the hottest player in the nation playing at point guard for you right now. So you look at a team that's, you know, statistically seems to be below you. But the thing is, I don't believe in trap games when it comes to Coach Bostwick, because Coach Bostwick doesn't take a single team in the nation lightly. I don't think he'd take me and you lightly if we went up against him. He'd destroy us, but he wouldn't take us lightly.
He should. We'll look at some of the stats for the Lions. They will continue to let it fly from beyond the arc. Number 5 in the nation at 9.5 makes a game. That's about 28 points a game just from three-point land. They also rank number 8 in the land in offensive rebounds, 14.7. A lot of that goes to your Emmanuel Adoys, your Jonathan Walters, your guys off the bench. Let's talk about Daniel Mills and Remington Mitchell, some players getting significant minutes and crashing the boards for the Lions.
Yeah, it's the way Coach Bostwick loves to play. He does not want a star 5. He wants a solid team top to bottom. That's what he's developing. Now, these two teams that you mentioned did meet in the first round of the tournament last year, and the Drovers almost pulled off the massive upset against the then number 7 ranked Lions. The Lions only survived with a 4-point win that they gained in the final seconds. The Drovers owned a lot of statistical advantages. They outshot the Lions 40-35. The Lions were ice cold from three-point range. 2 for 23, 8% from three-point range in that game. They out-rebounded the Lions. The biggest thing of that game, if you're sure about Texas Wesleyan on Thursday night, was turnovers. The Drovers committed 27 turnovers to 15 for the Lions. That was actually tied at 11 apiece at the half. So the Drovers committed a lot of second-half turnovers. The Lions really played great defense in that game, a game that they trailed by 10 early on. Like we said, that magical run we all remember, getting to watch the team play on national television, come within just minutes away from winning a national championship, almost never happened because this team wearing green tonight.
Who are some of the key players you see, Tim, that'll line up for the Drovers tonight? 3 in particular that stand out to you.
Well, I see Josh Seth Lloyd. He scored 63 points in the last 3 games, so he's really getting hot right now for the Drovers as they start to get into conference play. Tyler Reynolds has 15.4 points a game, and Anthony Bolton has 1.2 blocks a game. I'll tell you why that's huge. You've got to find a way to negate Rambo. You've got to find a way to keep him out of the paint. He's not the biggest player on the court, and if you can find a way to swat his shots, take him out of the game early from there, make him start shooting from long range, who knows? The Lions shot 2 for 23 from three-point range against this team last year. If they do that again, they could be in big trouble. So you got to rely on that big man inside to keep Rambo from just gouging this team.
3 key players for SAGU. Let's begin with Caleb Feemster, 15 points a game, 8.25 rebounds a game, 1.5 steals. He's got some quick hands, shooting 41% from three-point land. He is a major factor anytime he steps on the court here for Coach Bostwick. Number 2, Jonathan Walter, one of your favorite players. He averages 17 points a game, 42% from three-point land, 2.6 steals. And of course, it all begins and ends with Dominic Rambo, SAC Player of the Week, the NAIA National Player of the Week. He just averaged 33 a game for 3 games. What's all the fuss about? He's the type of player that Coach Bostwick will continue to give the green light to virtually anywhere in the court, any time on the shot clock. He's that good. He's
the kind of player that can win a game by himself, but the team he currently plays on, he doesn't have to. He's got such a good lineup behind him. That's what makes this team truly so deadly. It's why they are the number 2 team in the nation. There's only one team in the nation ahead of this team according to the national pollsters, and it's because they have a player who can be the biggest playmaker at any moment, but they also have a lineup stacked with Caleb Feemsters, Caleb Gentry's, Jonathan Walters, Daniel Mills, just top to bottom. This is a very solid team. It doesn't matter today, though. You got to play 40 minutes against the Drovers. You got to play. We'll be back with tip-off in just a few minutes. You're watching SAGU Sports Live on the SAGU Sports Network.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Drovers. At guard, standing at 6 foot, senior number 5, John Brown. At guard, standing at 6 foot, senior number 10, Dennis White. At guard, standing at 6'4", sophomore, number 12, David Tucker. Scott. And that forward, standing 6'5", junior, number 35, Anthony Bolton. Head coach for the Drovers is Vincent Metcalf. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups for your SAGU Lions. At guard, standing at 6 foot, senior from Hondo, Texas, number 2, Caleb Gentry. At guard, standing at 5'10", senior from Dallas, Texas, number 20, Dominique Rambo. At forward, standing at 6'4", junior from Garland, Texas, number 21, Jonathan Walter. At forward, standing at 6'5", sophomore from Little Rock, Arkansas, number 32, Emmanuel Adoy. And at forward, standing at 6'5", junior from Madison, Texas, number 33, Caleb Feaster. Head coach is Donnie Boston, assistant coaches are Garrett Jones, Kyle Tucker, and team chaplain is David Leatherberry.
It's time for tip-off here at the Schaefer Center. Number 2 team in the land putting their 11-1 record on the line. And jumping for the Lions will be Emmanuel Adoy. Anthony Bolton will jump center for the Drovers. And here we go. We're underway here at the Schaefer Center. Dominique Rambo will work the first possession. Gentry inside to Feimster. Inside the paint, stripped away. And here come the Drovers. Good clean play. First shot, no good. Feimster with the rebound. On up ahead to Rambo. He surveys the scene, pulls back out, spots up Feimster for 3. Little deep. Gentry with the long rebound. He's off the mark. Feimster tried to save it, Tim. Just, I think his foot was out of bounds before he was able to get the ball back in play.
Yeah, just couldn't quite corral it in time. Drovers take back over. Early going here. The Lions remain the only undefeated team in the SAGU Athletic Conference. And you can look at that 2 ways. One, you see the Lions in control. 2, you see a very, very good conference. The fact that this early in the season, 10 of the 11 teams have already suffered losses with some very good and very prestigious programs rounding this conference out. You got to realize that this is a minefield. And the Drovers are one of those mines that's already blown up one team, John Brown, and the Lions got to be on their game today. Rambo moves inside and off to Gentry.
Rambo's got Gentry with the lid on the basket. Rebound, Bolton. Scott over to David Tucker Jr. There's a drive baseline, spin move off the glass. That's a big-time move right there. Yeah. Kenneth White, the senior from South Bend, Indiana, puts the Drovers up by 2.
Going over Adoy like that, just finds his way around. And we have the first points of the game. Rambo for 3, nails it.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. Dominique Rambo picking up right where he left off last week as the National Player of the Week. And not ready for that pass. Bolton somehow, and Drovers come up with it. Now here's Adoy with the rebound, and here's Rambo again on the run. He's got Walter in the corner. Adoy will take it from the top of the key. He can shoot. A little too strong. Walter tried to rip that one away. Tucker Jr. On over to Scott. Lions show man-to-man. There's Brown on the drive. Feemster cuts him off. Nice touch. Kenneth White inside the paint near the free throw line. Puts the Drovers up 4-3. Rambo, look at that speed. Looking for help now. He's got help. Feemster sets his sights and delivers. Caleb Feemster from three-point land. Lions back up 6-4. Rambo was in trouble, but he found help.
Well, again, but that's where you see the absolute deadliness of Dominic Rambo. He drives down the baseline and, again, forces players to cover him. You can't not cover him. If they hadn't brought down, he'd have made the layup. But he dishes out to a wide-open Caleb Feemster, who is wont to hit those.
Quick shot. They could have reset and recycled, chose not to. And here come the Lions on the run. Gentry back to Rambo. He's so quick. Look at that move. Double, triple team. Does he get the roll? No, but he will go to the line and shoot a pair. Dominic Rambo, so fast, so quick on the inside. Creates shots like no player we've seen perhaps ever wear a SAGU uniform.
Well, it's the entire team's quickness, the ability to turn the court back as quick as they do. You mentioned turnovers being such a crucial fact of the game against Texas Wesleyan. At one point in the first half, the Lions committed no turnovers while the Rams committed 7. At that moment, the Lions had 15 points off turnovers. You don't have to be a math major to realize that means they scored on every single turnover.
Wow.
And so the Lions make you pay for your mistakes, and it's their quickness that does that. They get down the court so quickly, flip the court so fast. Rambo hits 1 of 2, and the Lions go on top 7-4. 3.5 minutes into this one, the Lions showing a bit of full court press here. Boswell could just pull this out occasionally.
Walter tipped it.
And it's worth pulling out because the Lions, more often than not, will force a turnover.
It's a nice inside pass. Drew the double team, dished it off to Bolton. Junior transfer out of Blinn College. Cuts the lead back to 1.
Interesting look for the Lions here. 4 players line up at the
Rambo's
baseline,
just
no
spotting
movement.
up the defender. He wants to take a shot. He will take a shot. A little too strong. How about an offensive rebound? Tip in. Caleb Feemster with the touch up in the air. Puts the Lions up by 3.
So pure from Feemster right there. Going up high, and he's really turning into a second layup. That was a very interesting offensive look for the Lions. They have not seen that this season yet.
No call on the contact.
All 4 players just lined up across the baseline. They stayed man-to-man, and Rambo just walked in. As that layup is good, couldn't lead back to 1.
Walter finds Gentry in the corner. He can shoot the 3. A little short, but there's Gentry just chasing down those long, loose rebounds from way downtown. Rambo off the mark, having an offensive rebound. Adoy, but they're going to call a foul on Donnie Brown.
No, it's going to be a foul.
It's going to be on Adoy against Donnie Brown. Check that. Turn the ball back over to Science and Arts.
So here comes a full 5-man shift from the Lions.
Talk about this. Why does Bostwick do this?
Coming into the game now, Andre Creer, Tyler Guidry. You got Daniel Mills, Remington Mitchell, and Andrew Erskine. And yeah, this is a common Donnie Bostwick move. We saw it all last year, and now he's really starting to settle in on his lineup. We're starting to see it again. You got your first 5 and your second 5. And around the 5-minute mark, he's going to make that move. Pretty much no matter what the score is, he keeps his players.
Pass. Excuse me, Tim. Errant passes. You're making a very good point about how this defense can bring it just as strong as the first stringers, and they cause a turnover right out of the box.
Well, and again, he keeps his team fresh that way. He keeps his legs fresh, and he trusts these second 5 as much as he trusts the first 5. And he asked of them the exact same thing. He doesn't put them in there just to hold a lead. He expects them to go get a lead and increase upon who this team is.
Guidry, he can shoot the left-hander in and out. And Drew Erskine, one of the shorter players on the court, had a hand on it, had 2 hands on it. Could have laid it back up and in, but it slipped through, reminiscent of the first game where I think there was some canola oil on that ball. It remains to be seen. Turnover, back to the Drovers. White, alley-oop pass.
Off
denied by Mills. Now Steele or Mitchell on up ahead to Guidry. He's got Erskine in the corner.
Amazing hustle by Mills to get it.
Mills for 3. Bingo! Daniel Mills!
And he finished it.
the freshman from Belton, Texas. Exactly right, Tim. Good defense sometimes equals good offense. Immediately after that defensive play. That's what happened there. Mills feeling it early. Lions up 12-8. Three-point shot contested by Erskine, but it's good. Kenneth White with a hand in his face. Nails the three from the top.
Just a two.
Just a two, though. From the line. We'll give him two. Erskine can shoot the rock. Here's steal over to Guidry. He looks inside to Mitchell. Left-hander, the floater. No good. Here comes Tucker. And they're going to call it travel. Trying to go baseline. That's J. Seth Lloyd. You mentioned him in pregame, Tim. Turnover. Back to the Lions, and Anthony Bolton will take a seat.
And the Lions defense forces a lot of travels because players trying to make that quick move. We're going against a quick defense. He all of a sudden finds himself indecisive. Takes too many steps. Just doesn't work. Mills knocks it down.
Again, Mills this time definitely inside the three-point line, but showing his range.
And just pulls up from right inside the key. This looked really good right there. Found an uncontested area and took it.
Moves inside the three-point line. Good. Got the defender up in the air. Stepped inside the three-point line.
Tyler Reynolds does a great job of, again, getting the defender out of position, going underneath and knocking it down. He's from Eugene, Oregon, a transfer from UT Permian Basin.
Mills feeling it. He'll go to the charity stripe. Check out his inside game. Makes a strong move to the basket. Met inside the paint. First free throw of the game for Daniel Mills. 6'5", can play guard or forward for Coach Bostwick. Lions extend their lead to 3. Second one's up and good. Checking back in, Siobhan Scott, senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Transfer from St. Mary's.
Daniel Mills now with 7 points on the game. He came in getting with this second squad with the Lions sitting at 9, and he has scored all 7 points for this second squad right now.
Look for him to stay hot and look for guys like Guidry and Erskine to actually try to get Mills the ball. You want to get the hot shooter the ball. And he's proven he can take it from the outside, make strong moves on the inside. Mills may be, well, maybe not, because here come 5 more players. So scratch that.
That foul will come against Mills, and the starting 5 will be back in. Rambo, Walters, Adoy, Feemster, and Gentry head to the sideline to check in after this first free throw. It's good.
Lions come into this game winning 5 straight to begin the season, and then a loss on the road at then number 2 LSU Shreveport. And then since then, Tim, they've rattled off another 6 straight wins.
Yeah, the Lions, again, that one loss of LSU Shreveport on the road, tight till the end. But besides that, they have been completely perfect, finding ways to win games. Again, talk about against Texas Wesleyan, a game in which they were outshot, out-rebounded, and out-assisted, and yet they controlled the game the entirety of the match. It was only until the very end that the Rams whitewashed the scoreboard a little bit and made it look like it was closer than it actually was.
Adoy, all kinds of trouble, finds Rambo streaking, who spots up Feemster. It's going to be short. Rebound cleared by Bolton.
For the Lions, you like the early open looks you're getting from the three-point line, though. They've already had a couple falls. Feemster comes away with that rebound.
Rambo, he's got numbers. He'll take it himself, splits the defense. Too strong off the glass, but here's Adoy to pick up the loose rebound. Soft touch, somehow doesn't fall. Rambo trying to pick it loose. And he's going to be whistled for a foul against J. Seth Lloyd. Perhaps a bit upset over the missed layup.
He ended up with tale of two stories there. He really had no reason to get that rebound, but found some way to come away with it, and then the ball found some way to not go in with the layup. Lions holding a 2-point advantage, just under 11 and a half to go in the first half.
Rambo's got 15 steals on the season.
For
Nice
three
looking
is
stroke. Absolutely.
That's Joseph Lloyd. And it's actually just being ruled a 2 on the floor again, so that we will stay tied at 16.
Again, Lions typically begin the first half of the first half. We call it a slow start. That's the phrase we like to use. You know, they don't tend to just blow teams out early. And perhaps they give teams a fighting chance, and then usually that's a bad pass there from Gentry. They tend to pick it up near the end of the first half into the second half. Right now, it's a tight one as we expected. 16 apiece. Stripped away by Rambo.
Feimster. Oh, what a play by Feimster.
Gentry, he's got one man behind him, but take it himself.
Just doesn't get the fall. Oh, you wanted to complete that one off. Feimster sliding to the sideline somehow, throwing that ball over his entire body to keep it in.
Anytime Gentry makes a mistake, he almost always atones for it the next time down the court. So keep an eye on number 2. He plays with, can I use this phrase, controlled anger. Not an angry man, but he plays with a ferocity, and he does not like to make mistakes.
Another good move by Bolton there, getting Adoy out of position, knocking down the shot to give the Drovers the lead. Bolton so far winning the early battle going against Adoy.
Walter on the elbow, spots up Gentry for 3. There it is, atoning for his mistake. He does it time and time again.
You mentioned it, and when you watch him in practice, it's the exact same way. If he makes a mistake, he follows up immediately. He does not let that stay on his conscience for long. Another 3 from Tyler Reynolds knocks it down. Coach Boswick calls a timeout. Upset with that happening. The Lions go down by 2 with 9.5, just over 9.5 remaining in this game. But we want to give a quick shout out.
Shout it out.
Shout out. We got fans all over the world, of course, with the wonder of the internet being to broadcast worldwide. I want to give a shout out to Charity Verlander, watching in Wales. Actually watching her little brother Caleb Feimster play in this one. So thank you for watching all over the world. The saying's always been the sun never sets on a Southwesterner, and now the sun never sets on SAGU TV. So we thank all of you watching all over the United States and beyond. Lions will check back in here as, again, we talk about this. It seems like it's the same script every week to some extent, where the Lions always kind of find themselves in this situation early on. They're not clicking exactly on offense. The opponent's finding some ways around the defense. And to date, at least, they've always found a way to put it back together and go ahead and win a game. So looking at the exact same scenario in the eyes right now, down by 2 with 9.5 to go in the first half.
Rambo prowling like a tiger, spotting up Brown, dishes off to Walter, who finds Adoy underneath, loses the handle, and another turnover for the Lions. Not what you want to see at all in a nip and tuck game, but the Drovers return the favor, give the ball right back to Southwestern. Bostwick not happy.
And turnovers something the Lions, win. They win them almost every game they play. And it can be such a crucial stat. Like we mentioned, they got defeated on every single stat line except for turnovers against Texas Wesleyan, and that was good enough to win. As Rembo gets his own rebound. And again, against the Drovers last year in the tournament, got beat on almost every front except turnovers. Turnovers can overcome a lot of other
Walter in the paint, strong move.
The Lions just not finding that clear shot too far up ahead. Siobhan Scott could not catch up to it, and the ball is turned back over to the Lions. And if you're the Drovers, while SAGU is missing, while SAGU doesn't have their footing completely underneath them offensively, you want to take advantage of that. Now was a chance right there to get down the court quickly and put up some points, but the errant pass gives it right back to SAGU.
It's almost as if you know it's coming, you just don't know when. That big push from the Lions, and Drovers trying to hold off that push as long as possible to get a cushion. Right now the cushion's just 2. Rambo for 3. Another tip-in rebound. The tip drill worked again. Feimster and now Walter to perfection ties it at 21. Skip pass over, 3 ball, too strong. Rambo always looking ahead. He's got Walter on the block. Over to Gentry, works himself right into Adoy. He's had a hard time handling the ball so far this afternoon. Way downtown.
And Feimster fighting for that one. Can't quite get it. And a technical foul is going to come against Anthony Bolton here.
For grabbing Feimster by the neck, it appeared.
Yeah, there was a little bit of extracurricular going on the court as Feimster tried to force the turnover. And Bolton, it appears, took it one step too far. He's going to draw the technical.
Okay, Tim, that was a pure 100% hustle play from Feimster. The play was over. The ball was already near midcourt as it ripped away from their possession. He's fighting for it as the ball's ripped away. Feimster, I'm not saying this 1 point counts, but if it ends up being a 1 or 2 point game, these free throws right here, they matter. In a play that was basically already turned over, on its way to being turned over to the Drovers, Feimster does this.
Yeah, never giving up on the play. And Feimster will go to the line with the freebies.
Best on the team.
And hits
Shows
it.
why.
The Lions go back on top. Again, if you're Bolton, it's a physical game, and you know sometimes you can even take offense to the fact that a guy is, you know, sometimes it's this unwritten rule of, okay, we have the ball now, you go down the other end of the court. And guys that play for SAGU can really frustrate you because they don't play that way.
Gentry's another one.
They always play that way of, I'm going to come get the ball.
Yeah.
You see right here another replay as Feimster's on top.
There it is.
Yeah, he grabs him around the neck and sort of attempts to slam his face into the court. And that's one of those that you try because sometimes you get away with it. You try to get a little bit physical. It's like the bottom of a pile in a football game. But the ref saw it that time, and rightfully, he draws the technical. Errant pass goes out of bounds, and the Lions get the ball back.
Rambo in check so far, just 4 points. He averages about 26 a game. Here's a move inside the paint. You're not going to stop that. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's a big-time move right there, and a timeout on the floor. Timeout, Drovers. What a powerful, precise, quick, athletic move to the finish. And then off the left hand, here it is.
Yeah, to the right.
Crossover.
And I mean, all of a sudden, there's the hole. He just makes that move to the right. The defenders move out. The defender up top is having to still acknowledge that Walter and Feimster are on the corner. He can't drop off them or else he's got a wide open look. Look at Rambo right there. Determination, eyes are on the basket the rest of the way. Lays it in, and like you said, he can shoot, he can play defense, but it's his quickness. That's what makes up this player. That's why a player who just comes in at 5'10" and is never going to be the biggest guy in the court is so dominant. He has got such a first move.
And how about that ability to lay it off? You saw it twice in the replay. To lay it off high off the glass because of his body moving so fast forward. Had he laid the ball in lower, actually in the block, he probably would have missed it. Here it is again. Watch, he has the presence of mind to actually lay it up above the square.
Yeah, and again,
just outside the square and soft touch.
Kenneth White and Donnie Brown, both of them, just he takes that little half juke to the right, and they both completely sell out to it, take a full step, and as soon as he saw them do that, he knew he had it. He knew he had his layup. Lions on top by 4, again bringing the full court look.
Walter almost got it. All kinds of trouble. Tucker,
yeah, facing resistance the whole way down for 3, no good. And it hits the shot clock, so the Lions will get the ball. Rambo
4. Rambo with 6. Feimster with 7.
That ball's knocked out of Walter's hands. Will stay right here. And for the Lions, you're kind of in the middle of one of these. You're talking about sometimes these sneaky runs. Oh, and now the ball will be redirected back over to the Drovers. We saw as soon as the play was over, Drovers head coach Vincent Metcalf pointing something out. He must have seen something the refs didn't, and they listened to his appeal, and the ball goes back to the Drovers. But in the Lions, suddenly kind of with a little 6-0 run here. Not with a whole lot of flash, not all at once, just slowly. They've scored 6 points. They've kept the Drovers from getting on the board. And again, it's not a big lead by any means, but they just do this throughout the game. Layup rolls off, no good. Adoy comes out with the rebound. Rambo quickly down the court. He'll reset up at the top.
He finds Gentry. Rambo, look at this. Are you kidding me?
Yes, he was.
He has, if he's in the gym, he's open.
Tucker just trying to be the guard here and trying to find a way to keep a hold of the ball for 3. That'll be no good, and Adoy with another rebound.
Nice board from Adoy. Gentry struggled, just has that 1 3-pointer. He can light it up. Adoy over to Feimster, the leading scorer for the Lions. Drives left, pops back over, sees Walter, now inside to Adoy. Spins, turns, soft touch, good.
Nice. Great effort by Adoy. Just putting your back into the player, moving left, moving right, keeping him off balance, and then just turning around and hitting the fadeaway. Lions go on top by 6, 5.5 remaining.
8 straight for Southwestern. There's that sneaky run we talked about. Nothing fancy, just methodical. They just wear you down on defense. Behind the back, and they're going to whistle Gentry, I think, for the foul on that.
Yeah, Gentry's going to get whistled for the foul.
Crowd doesn't like it.
The crowd at first thought was going to come against Reynolds for holding Gentry back from getting to the ball, but he's going to get called.
That's my vote.
With his
but
first.
My vote doesn't count for much.
And again, here comes the second line for the Lions. It's Mills, it's Mitchell, it's Guidry, Erskine, and lastly, Andre Creer.
Erskine, a transfer from a D3 school, Centenary College, started 7 times earlier in the year, scored 100 points in 22 games. He has 90 in 12 games, including a high of 23 one game and 20 another game, so he can fill it up.
That's good, coming from David Tucker. Fights his way in and banks it in. That was going to go out. It's going to stay with the Drovers. Score is 27-23.
Been a while since Science and Arts have scored a basket.
Yeah, that
point anything.
Yeah, that was.
It was 19-21 with about 12 minutes left or so.
Yeah, so that was pretty much the end of at least a 6 or 7 minute drought. They had been very much stymied on offense. Nice move by Tucker. He takes the 3, does not go. Creer fights for the rebound and gets it.
Nice pass.
Guidry almost throws it away.
Looking to press. He's got Erskine. He can shoot. He does. And how about the rebound from Creer?
Oh, nice rebound from Creer.
Erskine will take it inside, back out to Guidry. Creer works himself into the paint, stops, pops, a little too strong. And a steal from Erskine into Mills. He's got, oh, he missed the layup. I gave him the points. Tried off the left hand, rolled off the rim.
The Lions miss a couple opportunities there. A couple offensive rebounds, just can't finish.
And Remington Mitchell with the smother.
Now the Drovers again have a chance to close it right back to a 2-point lead. Neither team really showing any sort of continued dominance at this point. The Lions looked good for a moment there, but just like that, it's back to a 27-24 game.
3 points. And here come the starting 5 at the bottom of your screen. You see the replay. Mitchell. Contact after the ball.
Yeah, and I think Boswick typically would have kept the second 5 in there for a little bit longer, but you know, he was on a 7-0 run, or actually an 8-0 run with the starting 5 out there. He puts the second group in and just didn't work as well that time. And so now with the 2-point lead, the starting 5 are back in. Dominic Rambo leading them down the court. Motions Feimster to the other side.
Another big move.
And just hangs up in the air.
More and more flashes of brilliance. Dominic Rambo hung in the air.
Goes up in the air and fakes right and left to keep the defenders off balance when he's in the air. I feel like gravity should apply the same to all of us, but apparently it doesn't. Einstein was wrong. Time's not relative. Gravity is. Tip, and nice tip coming from Tyler Reynolds. Seen the Lions pull it off twice, and that time Drovers get a nice tip in off the missed shot. 29-27 Lions lead.
Adoy now hassled by Reynolds. Gets it over to Walter. 20 in the shot clock. Anytime Rambo's got that look. Now he gives it to Walter. Lets it fly from 3. Bingo, back of the rim, falls in. Jonathan Walter lights it up. Such a nice stroke.
Yeah, when these guys get open, they know how to take a shot. Even when it's a miss, you call them early sometimes. Now a nice shot right back. Tyler Reynolds knocks it down from 3 to answer Walter's strike. Tyler Reynolds now with 8 points on the game.
Okay, you're down to about 2 minutes left. Here's where you begin to see Rambo try to take over the end of the half. Look for Rambo to create off the dribble, find an open man, to tighten up his game as we near halftime. Walter, nice move inside. Created the separation with the move. Spin, turn, right hand hook, baby hook. Lions back up by 4. Big 3 from Reynolds.
Off the target that time, but Drovers get the rebound.
Playing a little keep away here. Drovers trying to work that shot clock down. A big 3, a long one. They like to take this long 3. Shot no good. Rambo on the run again. Just racing back Drovers. And no call on that strip. And at the other end, Lloyd powers it through.
Yeah, there was no one left on the defensive end, and Lloyd decided to make a highlight out of it. Stuffs it to the basket. And the Drovers cut the lead back to 2.
Walter. Good.
Gets it to fall.
2 in
and
a row.
1.
Strong move from Walter. Body control, up in the air. Soft touch. That's 2 in a row inside the paint for Jonathan Walter.
And right now, these are just 2 teams just volleying answers at each other. Walter hits a 3-pointer, so Tyler Reynolds goes down and hits a 3-pointer. Lloyd gets the flush, and so Walter says, well, that was really pretty. It's only worth 2. Watch me come get 3. And he does.
He does.
So right now, it's just answer after answer, as these 2 teams have pretty much stayed lockstep with the entire first half. As we're under a minute to play now, Lions holding a 5-point advantage. Long pass.
Full court press.
Somehow saved, somehow thrown back and saved again.
Wow.
And now the Drovers will try to settle this one down.
Now just 20 in the shot clock. Burned almost half the time. He's getting the ball up the court and getting set. Change direction. He's going to shoot, then pass.
Blocking foul against Walter.
Yep.
Just the 6th foul on the Lions, though fouls have not been an issue for either team. Drovers just at 4, Lions now at 6, so no free throws will be necessary at this point. And really, no one in any sort of foul trouble. Lions have 4 players on the floor with 1 foul. For the Drovers, Kenneth White does have 2, but that's far from foul trouble at this point. So
everybody else has 0 fouls in the game right now for the Drovers.
Caleb Feemster putting his back into it, mopping up the floor.
He gets a little hand clap from the audience. Fresh 35.
Siobhan Scott to inbound. And now, yeah, the Drovers can now pretty much milk the rest of the first half. It's just about a 3-second clock differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So if they want to try to hold for what would essentially be the last shot, they can. And it looks like they will.
Cut the lead to 3 or to 2. To 2 with a 3.
Tucker just pulls back and will let the clock run. Rambo comes out to engage. Trying to force a shot, but again, you don't want to, now that you're in the bonus, the next foul would cause free throws. No reason to go out and cause a foul. Rambo almost gets the strip for 3.
Shot for good. It looked good. It is good.
Kenneth White got all alone as Rambo
trying to get a shot off. It may be Walter. Throws it up one hand. Falls harmlessly short. We are at halftime, and we have a barn burner brewing. Lions, all they can handle. Lead this one just by 2, 37 to 35. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Give you some stats, some more information. Hang around. You're watching the #2 team in the land right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Welcome back. Lions lead by 2 over the Drovers. Let's go down to the court side now, where Tyler Evans is standing by with assistant coach Garrett Jones. Tyler?
Thanks, guys. Now, coach, with a high-ranked team like this, you expect a close game. But what are we going to do to really secure a lead and slow this team down?
Well, they made tough shots. One thing that we can't do is give them second opportunities. They got some offensive boards, and they made tough shots, so give them credit that half.
Now, the Drovers' offense is what's really hitting us hard. How are we going to raise our defensive intensity against them?
Yeah, we just got to contest harder, find their shooters. And like I said, give them credit. They made shots at half.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in the rest of the game. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Coach
Thank
Joan.
you.
Thanks.
We'll be back in a couple of moments here with some first half stats and analysis, as well as second half adjustments for the two teams. And the Lions right now on top of the Drovers, 37-35. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network.
Halftime here at the Schaefer Center, just a 2-point lead for the Lions, number 2 team in the land. The slim margin, 1 basket. They trailed 21-19, about 12 minutes remaining, and really nip and tuck from there. Lions went on an 8-0 run early, made it 27-21, and then since then, Tim, the Drovers have fought and clawed back, and they are right in this game. Statistically, it's pretty even.
Oh, yeah, across the board, you know, it's a 37-35 game on the scoreboard, and it's a 37-35 game on the stats. The Lions have a slim 1 rebound advantage, 19-18. The Drovers have a slim assist lead, 6-4. Both teams have 6 steals. Both teams have 7 turnovers, and both teams have really suffered from 3-point shooting, an area they can both be pretty good at. Lions 5 for 17. That's a shooting percentage of just 29%. Drovers 3 for 12, 25%. Drovers are shooting better overall for the game, 46% overall, while the Lions are just shooting 37%, but the Lions have taken 5 more shots, a lot in part to 3 more offensive rebounds that they pulled down. But again, you just look at it, they're completely even. The scoreboard is essentially even at 37-35. The stats are essentially even.
From the perspective of the Drovers, it's, you know, it's, hey, we're at halftime, and we've got the number 2 team on their heels at their home place. And there has been no major Rambo run. And if you've got a green jersey on your back, you're feeling pretty good right about now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's still a long game to go. And you know that just being down by 2 doesn't do much for you. And within conference, there's not much room for moral victories. But right now, as a team that's already gone and, as I said, beat John Brown in Salem Springs, Arkansas, this is a team that is prepared to take off the top teams in the Sooner Athletic Conference. And they are giving the Lions all they can handle. Looking at some team stats right now, Jonathan Walter leads all scorers with 10 points. Dominic Rambo with 8. Caleb Feemster and Daniel Mills each have 7. For the Drovers, their leading scorer is Kenneth White with 9 points. Tyler Reynolds and Joseph Lloyd each have 8 points. So, again, not any one player really carrying these teams. For the Lions, you just look up and down. They have some really good, some really good stats from all their players, and the same thing with the Drovers.
Lead change 7 times. Science and Arts led by 2 with about a minute half in, and then have trailed most of the way since then. Largest lead for SAGU, just 6 points with about 5 minutes left. So you look at that lead change 7 times, the score tied twice, and Lions have got their hands full, and we'll see how they respond. They always make adjustments. You may see a little bit more minutes from the starting 5. We'll wait to see what happens there. Bostwick trusts his second 5, but he's also not afraid to pull the noose if they don't get the job done when they're out there, that second 5.
Yeah, exactly. And really, when you look at this game right now, there's a couple of key moments that you can pick out when the game is this close. First of all, you have the technical foul on Anthony Bolton that gave the Lions 2 free points when the Drovers essentially had that. And also you look at the very end of the half, the Drovers coming down the court, nearly turning the ball over on multiple occasions, keeping it in bounds and knocking down the 3-pointer just before the buzzer. There's just a big psychological difference. There really is. If you're down by 5, and here's a replay of that technical foul that came earlier. But when you're down by 5, it just feels like a bigger margin than 2. And obviously it is. It's not that much bigger, but that 3-pointer really changed the complexion of this game the way it stands at the moment. Just down by 1 basket, showing that you have the ability to knock down that big shot in the clutch.
The only big difference in the stats, if there is one, is in bench scoring. The Drovers have scored 16 off the bench, SAGU just 7.
And it's very interesting. And of course, all 7 of those points coming from Daniel Mills. The Lions very often rely on their bench. In this game, really they've had 2 appearances. The first one, they came out, looked very solid, kept the Drovers from scoring. Daniel Mills went on a 7-point run of his own. And then the second time, they had to get pulled pretty quick. So the bench play could play a pretty big part in this game. Obviously, both teams able to rely on their bench. And in the game that's this close, you're going to need to rest your starters from time to time. And so it's going to be very interesting to see whose bench can pull out in the second half. And now, of course, when you still have some amazing starters on both sides, you're still looking at them to be the heroes.
Yeah. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the sites, YouTube site. You can also catch our program called The War Room, a coach's show. We break down the previous week's game with head coaches, go inside, behind SAGU Athletics, The War Room, plus archive replays of all the games we broadcast here at SAGU.tv. And we are underway in the second half. Lions come out playing man-to-man, and there's a steal cutting off the passing lane. Gentry.
Drovers were playing it very quick, but Gentry caught him off guard. Rambo with a fast move. He gets fouled hard, going to the basket. Shot won't go, but he'll head to the line for two. And
Just
first
look at how
21
he landed.
seconds.
Just look at how he landed, Tim. He's so nimble. He knows he's going up. He knows he's going to get hit. And he just, like a dancer, just goes to a ball and just curls and just flips over to prevent any injury. He has such body control, even when he's out of the play and the play's over.
First 21 seconds, I already see a really fast pace from both teams flying down the court. Rambo will make the first, take his time. Both teams shooting really well from free throws. The Drovers hit all 4 of their attempts, while the Lions were 6 for 7 in the first half. So no points left on the floor there for either team, really.
Rambo played high school just up the road, about 20 minutes away in Cedar Hill at Trinity Christian School under head coach Tim Ferguson, and recruited to stay home at SAGU.
Now we see again the quick full court press on the Lions. Seems to be applying some pressure. That sometimes will just really catch a team off guard and work. Matter of fact, on Monday night, something you don't see that often, especially in men's college basketball, the Lions forced a 10-second violation against the Southwestern Christian Eagles, pulling off the full court press.
Now
shot clock down to 6.
Shot clock, absolutely. And the ball comes loose. Rambo on up ahead to Gentry.
And Gentry was the one that poked it loose, and he's the one that gets to lay it in. Lions go on top 41-35.
Here comes the pressure. Walter leading it, him and Rambo and Gentry, and now
forced
a timeout. They have to burn a timeout just a minute and 10 seconds in.
Donnie Brown was completely trapped by the sideline. Walter and Rambo on both ends. Again, when you got the size of Walter up top, you see the replay here, Rambo just throwing a perfect lead pass to Gentry. But when you got the size of Walter to one side and the quickness of Rambo to the other, you can't afford to put the ball down. It's going to get swiped. So they make the wise move to call the timeout.
If that pass is any shorter or higher, then the defender will catch up with it, because that forces Gentry not to keep going full steam. So hats off to the poke from Gentry, and then the pinpoint pass from Rambo. 24 seconds left on the shot clock after that timeout. Brown hands it off to Tucker. Rambo guards Tucker. Thought about the 3. Into the paint. Back out ahead to Tucker. Skips it over to Brown. Short, loose ball. Who wants it? Rambo comes away with it.
And he was about the 5th player to lay hands on it. He just kind of skipped around. Walter for 3. A little bit too long. But Adoy comes down with the offensive board.
Feimster with a big tip initially, and then Adoy tried to hit a streaky Walter. It didn't work.
There's going to be a foul called here. It looks like it's going to come against Walter. Yeah, Adoy got the rebound there. Tried to pull the fancy move to catch Walter in stride, but just a little, let him bit too much. That's the 2nd foul on Walter. No other player has 2. Three-pointer does not go, and Adoy fights for the rebound. Feimster comes up with it.
Gentry works inside, looking for Feimster. Feimster can drive, back out, keeps his dribble. Now over to Adoy. Lights it up from 3. Too strong. Gentry tried to pull it down. Here comes Science and Art all the way. Now back out, no one's there. Gentry picks it up, 2-on-2. Nice pass to Walter. Kind of fake the 3, little stutter, and just dish it underneath to Jonathan, waiting for it under the basket.
Yeah, pulled up, made the defenders pull off of Walter just enough.
Yep.
Led him perfectly underneath. Very heads-up play by Gentry.
Leads
And the
up to
Lions have, they've started off the half with a 6-0 run. The Drovers have been unable to score throughout the first 3 minutes. Another foul coming against the Lions here now. That's the second of the half, and that is the third on Walter. So just after Walter becomes the leading scorer for the Lions again at 12, he picks up his third foul. So a little bit of trouble for the Lions now. 17 minutes remaining with one of your starters sitting at 3 fouls. For 3,
White
off, and Walter picks up the rebound, throws it up long to Rambo.
wastes no time. Rambo penetrates. Looked like maybe an attempted pass to Feimster, and look who comes up with that ball. Who else? Dominique Rambo, the National Player of the Year, just out hustling, out thinking, outsmarting everybody. Now lets the 3 go. Bingo, baby! Dominique Rambo.
And the Lions have opened up this half in authority, pushing the lead to 11, the largest of the game. And Rambo there, what can you say, somehow gets the ball. It looked like he should have been the last guy in the court to possibly pick up that loose ball, and then knocks down the 3.
He has another gear, another level.
Now
A few players have.
fighting inside, gets through Adoy.
Rambo behind the back. He's got Walter left. Gentry right, gives it up to Walter. Back over to Rambo.
Just a bit of an errant pass there. Lions have had a couple of those this half. And you look at those turnovers, and look at the score, and you like where it is so far. 4 minutes in, you haven't let the Drovers score. As we'll see, Daniel Mills step in for Walter, who does have 3 fouls. You haven't let the Drovers score, but you've had a couple of unforced errors like that. Just getting a little bit too excited, throwing the pass too long. And so you love the 11-point lead. You love coming out with a 9-0 run to start the half. But you also kind of wish you hadn't made those mistakes possibly bigger. Because you know the Drovers aren't going to go away just because they're down by 11 now.
Could have been more. Remington Mitchell set the check in, the next dead ball. Rambo nearly loses the handle.
And almost lose it again.
Tyler Reynolds guards him. Mills over to Gentry. Baseline, looking for help. Feimster stops. Ring it up! Caleb Feimster on fire.
And
His 10th point of the game.
And over the first 4.5 minutes of the half, the Lions have taken control. As finally the Drovers get on the board for the first time in the half. Tucker drives to the lane and puts up the layup, cut the lead back to 12. But the Lions, who just led by 2 to start this half, have opened up not a commanding 12-point lead by any means, but a 12-point lead when they were unable to get any separation from the Drovers throughout the first 20 minutes. Rambo takes his time. He's facing 2 defenders now.
Walter's got Feimster. He wants another one.
Just a bit short.
Ripped out of the air by Lloyd. Here's Scott, stutter step, stop, rolls it up, gets the soft touch, the friendly bounce, cuts the lead back to 10.
Drovers responding now. Again, they had fallen behind by 14 over the first 4.5 minutes. Now making a move to try to get back into this one.
Adoy finds Mills.
It's going to be a
Little
foul
action underneath.
Foul underneath against Tucker.
Yep.
That'll be the second foul of the half
Little
on the
push.
Drovers, and just the first on Tucker. Into the game now is Erskine and Mitchell. And to the sideline will go Adoy and Gentry.
So for now,
And
he's abandoned the 5-5.
Well, if you need any proof of who these guys are, and who the understudies are to these players, Mitchell is obviously Adoy's understudy, and you see right there, Erskine is Gentry's understudy. They just switch out; they're almost interchangeable. That's what Boswick wants to get them.
Inside the line.
Knocks
Gonna
it
get 2.
down, and so all of a sudden, the Drovers answer a 12-0 Lions run with essentially a 6-0 run of their own, getting right back into this one, just storming down the court. And again, that shot was just a heavy shot, pulled up and knocked it down. The lead is just 8 for the Lions, prompting a Donnie Bostwick timeout as he doesn't want this one to. He liked that double-digit lead he had there for a minute. He wants to go ahead and get that back.
keep in the back of your mind the technical foul near the middle to end of the first quarter. Caleb Feemster, the hustle play of the game so far.
Got some updates for you around the Sooner Athletic Conference. The Oklahoma City Stars led St. Gregory's at the half, 44-41. That's St. Gregory's, who's number 12. A team that finished dead last in the conference last year, started off this year on fire, risen number 12, but they're facing some severe competition. Meanwhile, John Brown is being led at the half by Southwestern Christian, 33-26. So two teams that you consider to be favored, both down at the half against Sooner Athletic Conference opponents. That one's knocked loose. Rambo can't get the pass across, turns it over. And that will fall.
Tyler Reynolds, coast to coast, cuts the lead to 6. Gentry set the check back in. Erskine with the ball, takes the pick from Feemster, and
foul's going to come against number 23, Siobhan Scott. That'll be his first third of the half on the Drovers, and Gentry will step in for Dominique Rambo. Rambo going to take a little bit of a rest here. The Lions have seen a 14-point lead that they built quickly, disappeared just as quickly down to just 6. I mean, you knew the Drovers weren't going to go away just because they're looking at a double-digit lead for a few minutes.
They are not. Boy, Mitchell working hard underneath, but here's Erskine now. He's stripped, no whistle. 20 seconds remain on the shot clock. We'll keep it right here. Erskine has had 23 in one game, 20 another game. He gets an open look, he can drain him. He's got the ball now with 19 on the shot clock. Feemster will reset. Mills with a high pick. Over to Mills. He's got a couple big points already. Drives to the lane.
He's got to draw the foul.
Fouled. Nice strong move from Mills.
Well, again, nice strong move, and then also being able to stay airborne long enough. That was not going to be initially foul. He was contested very well by Joseph Lloyd.
He's fouled on the way down.
Yeah, it was on the
end of the play.
It was on the way down that he was finally able to create the contact he needed to draw the foul. Misses the first free throw, though.
Look at this again. Nice strong move, collects, jumps, and right there, you know, it may have been clean. I didn't see a whole lot of contact there, but 1 of 2 for Mills. Lead back to 7. Here comes Tucker. Erskine shadowing. Scott, White, Brown, whistle.
Foul going to come against, looks like Erskine here. And if you're the Drovers, momentarily you found a way past this Lions defense. When it started off, and actually it's going to be against Daniel Mills, not Erskine. But when the half started off, the Lions were suffocating you, forcing turnovers, forcing missed shots. For the moment, you've kind of pushed them back on their heels again. Nice
defense for Mitchell.
But good offensive rebound. And
Mills getting on the action.
And there's like a jump ball is going to be called, and the Lions will take over.
And that goes as a turnover in the books.
And that's all Daniel Mills right there. He had the first block and then the second, which was ruled the jump ball. Position arrow switch back over to the Drovers, but the Lions take over on that. Under 12 and a half left, the Lions holding on to a 7-point lead here against the Science and Arts Drovers.
Gentry lost his dribble, picked it up. Erskine bails him out. 15 the shot clock. Not afraid to go inside. Tipped away by White. Just 10 remaining on the shot clock. Mills will inbound the ball on the far side. Gentry goes to work on Tucker. Nice move. He may go all the way. Reminiscent of an ESPN top 10 play. Gentry does it again.
Long alley-oop. Again, answer after answer. Lloyd throws it down again. So just after Gentry spirals in and gets literally the layup over his back, Lloyd throws down the oop from the three-point line. These are two teams that are just pretty much have been lockstep for the majority of this game.
Erskine into the paint. It's going to travel. Travel is the call. He's looking for Mills. Dragged his foot. Here comes Rambo and Walter. Walter with 3 fouls. Rambo, the spark plug. Erskine will take a seat, as will Feimster. Feimster has 10.
Look at that right there, just going airborne, finishing that play off. And it feels like we say it time and time again, but the Lions have their hands full in this one.
You know, Tim, what I think this does?
Long three, knocks it down. David Tucker. And the lead is cut to 4.
This really prepares the Lions for the NAIA tournament. When you've got 15, 16 straight games that there's no cupcakes, you have pressure
and an
every
answer.
night. And there's Walter answering.
I mean, again, these are 2 teams that just answer after answer. You'd be hard-pressed to go find a big play that was not immediately answered by the other team. Another 3, that's off the mark.
Gentry looking up ahead. He's got Walter if he wants it. He spots up a 3. Does hit Walter. Rambo is the top of the key. Walter taking himself. Now he gives it over to Mitchell.
He's going to go off of the official ruling. It's going to go against the Lions, actually. Looked at first like they were going to rule that it went off of Tyler Reynolds.
And Adoy will come in for Remington. Mitchell, freshman from Mansfield High School, just up the road.
So now 10:27 remains. Lions, it's felt like it's been a 7-point lead pretty much for the past couple of minutes, you know, and if it ever changed, it changed right back. Gentry's going to get called with a foul, just over-pursued that one.
Number 2.
That's his 2nd foul. 4th of the half on the Lions.
If you're the Drovers, you're 7 points down on the road against the number 2 team in the nation with a half left. You got to be happy. I know you're down and not every shot's falling, but you're hanging around, just hanging around. And when that happens in this conference, crazy things can happen.
And again, the Lions, in 2 of their last 3 wins, have held significant margins going into the final minute and a half, 2 minutes, and seen those whittled down to 4 points. So again, if you're the Drovers, you're like, you know what, let's keep this 6 or 7, get down to the last 2 minutes and see if they kind of falter like they have in those 2 games.
Mills, pop, stop, missed the shot. Nice athletic play from Lloyd. Down up ahead to Reynolds. Over to Scott, back to Reynolds. Mills is on him, goes into the baseline, into the paint, looking for an alley-oop. To Lloyd, didn't happen.
He's going to hear about that one. And that gets knocked out by Tucker. Gentry just trying to get it to a player before he got caught with the travel, and Tucker tips it out. Feimster's going to step in, and Mills is going to go to the bench. So again, the starting 5 are in full force on the court for the Lions now. Still a 7-point advantage.
Cameron King checks in for the Drovers. 6'3" sophomore from Louisville High School. He's on Rambo. Now, an alley-oop that results in a layup, but the points count just the same. Rambo to Adoy.
Good pursuit by Adoy, and again, good knowledge to know that this pass is short of the basket, and I'm short of the basket. Don't try to do anything crazy with it. Get your points. This is a tight game.
Rambo, take a charge. I can check that. Adoy will take the charge, and it is just that. The whistle goes against the Drovers. And watch Adoy slide over.
And again, that is not, as you mentioned in the last game, the rules in the NAIA have changed for what amounts to a charge. You have to be set a lot earlier than you used to have to in the NAIA to get a charge. So it's really, really tough. This is actually the first charge we've seen called this season of our broadcast season. So it's tough to draw a charge, but Adoy does great there.
Literally elevated over 2 defenders. Rambo, point number 15, skying off the glass.
Leads back to 11 for the Lions.
Those are some NBA type, or at least professional type moves that he's making with his skills on offense.
The Lions defense back to pestering the Drovers, unable to find an open man, and that's going to be the push. going against Reynolds. He pushed Gentry.
You can't believe it.
And Gentry made sure the ref saw it.
Yeah.
That's
20, 15 feet. What's the guess? 15, 20 feet?
That's 75% in basketball. Is make sure you know you got pushed.
Maybe 12 feet.
I mean, these are the kids that watched growing LeBron James and Manu Ginobili, so they know how to do that pretty well. Slide back as far as you can.
My man,
so
Reggie Miller.
2 consecutive offensive fouls now against the Drovers. They take the charge and the push. Those both amount to turnovers. The Lions have pushed the lead to 11. Rambo
trying to break down the sub off the bench. Adoy from the free throw line. Perfect. Seen him in the gym. Almost every time I walk in, he's working on that jumper. He's got that one
and that's his
dialed
zone.
in.
That's his zone right there at the key, right around the free throw line. He will just sit there and knock him down all day if you leave him open. Goes up high over Adoy.
Nice block attempt from Emmanuel. Up ahead to Gentry. Surveys. Inside to Walter. Lost the handle. He was trying to make his move before he was able to secure the basketball.
Yeah, it looked like Walter was planning on catching it, going left and moving back right and flipping it up. But in his first move to fake going left, he kind of left the ball right. Falls out of his hands, but the Lions, again, have pushed this back to a 13-point lead. After it was 14, cut back down to 6, and then 7. Now the Lions pushed it back to 13 on a little sneaky 6-0 run. They don't overpower you. They don't necessarily stun you, as Rambo just picks the pocket, swipes the ball out of the ground.
Can't stop that. He can only stop himself. Follow up from Walter. Is that Walter or is that
That was
Adoy?
Walter. Walter gets the rebound and puts it back. He has 17 on the night, and the Lions have pushed it again now to their largest lead of the game, 15. 7-minute mark. The Drovers need to make something happen pretty quick here. And that's going to be a foul and 1. Walter's going to draw his 4th foul, and the Drovers are going to have a chance to cut it to 12. So 6:53. Go ahead and pencil that time down. Walter picks up his 4th foul. The Drovers stem the Lions' momentum, a chance to complete a 3-point play here. As he said, they have not gone away yet. They weren't intimidated by a 14-point lead earlier in this half, and they're quickly trying to get rid of this 15-point lead.
Walter appears to be staying in the basketball game.
I imagine he'll stay for at least a little bit longer at this point. Walter's not the type to pick up fouls unwarranted. He's not Rambo or Gentry. He's going to make a diving play for a steal that might get whistled. So he's a safe player to bet that you can leave him in there with 4 fouls and potentially play the game out. But he has to be careful now. And obviously, as an offense, you now attack him on defense, knowing he cannot confront you the way he would like to for fear of getting fouled out.
Lions active on offense. Setting picks, moving around now. 10 on the shot clock. Rambo from the corner. Adoy backs up his man. Pump fake, up under. Backs out to Rambo from about 25 feet. Bingo! Dominique Rambo lights it up again.
And he takes a half bow after that one. Shot clock was down to 2, so he had to take it, and he knocked it down. There's Lloyd answering back with a little jumper of his own. 6 minutes left in this game now.
There goes Rambo again. Nice pass to Walter.
Doesn't
Gentry
fall, but Feimster, what a
tips
pursuit.
it to Feimster. Credit Gentry on that one. Now Rambo.
And these players never take their eyes off the ball. Feimster followed the whole way, and even though he was out of position, was the best man for the
what
job.
A pass. What a pass to Emmanuel Adoy from
beautiful.
Caleb Gentry. The crowd now getting active on their feet as Gentry dishes to Emmanuel Adoy, and just like that, the Drovers answer. Every time big plays happen, the Drovers are able to stop that momentum.
Caught Lloyd off guard. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I'd like to dissect those plays and point out why they were so good. Before I can, the Drovers right back down, getting the layup. Leads just back to 13 now as you're approaching the 5-minute mark.
Rambo with 18. Adoy with 8. Feimster into the paint. Adoy, a 10-footer from the baseline, rattles in. Adoy's got 10.
And the Lions moving the ball much better now. During those times they were letting the Drovers get back close. They were not getting those passes the way they needed to in the past 3 times on the court. But again, Lloyd knocks it down. Lloyd now has 16 points on the 18 points on the game to equal Rambo for the leading scorer of the game. So Lloyd keeping the Drovers in it right now. He's just an athletic player. We've seen him swish it a few times. Oh, Rambo.
Swish. How about another one? Is this guy for real? Dominique Rambo lighting up the Schaefer Center.
And just right back down the court, Tucker. This is starting to look more like an NBA All-Star game, how quick these teams are scoring on each other. But right now, the Lions have the advantage as we approach 4 minutes left. They have the 14-point lead. Rambo with the quick move gets fouled. But yeah, just talk a moment about Lloyd for the Drovers.
You mentioned in pregame. He's one of your key players.
And he has been. He's what's kept him in the game up to this point. They have a bit of a mountain to climb right now, down by 14 with Rambo heading to the line. Just over 4 minutes remaining, but he's shown some serious athleticism with the dunks, being able to pull up and shoot it, as well as he made a couple spectacular saves to keep possessions alive. The Drovers can thank him that their turnover totals aren't about 5 or 6 higher. He's made some really great plays near the sidelines. However, now they are facing a significant deficit. If Rambo knocks this one down, the Lions will be up by 16, their largest lead of the night. 15 is their largest lead, so they've tied it. And when you are, this is when you want to take your largest lead of the night. 4 minutes left. You know, the later you can do it, the better. Yeah. Now the Lions, as you said, two of the last 3 games have stumbled late and let their opponents come back in against the Rams and against the as a 3-point is launched. Oh, just in and out, but a good tip in from Kenneth White.
No one blocked out White. You got to block him out.
Followed up. I think most players thought that one was already in, but White does a great job trailing in. But yeah, then obviously last week against the Evangels. Let the Evangels come back to within 1 shot still after the Lions led by 11 with 1.5 minutes left. So
the only starter not in double figures for the Lions is Gentry with 7.
Oh, just that just
pass to Tyler Guidry. Unfortunately, Tyler Guidry is on the bench.
And Adoy just kind of looks at his hands there. That slipped. It looked like his left hand never had a good grip on the ball, and that just made it sail about 7 feet to the left of Gentry. Turnover, and that's what the Drovers needed. They can't allow they can't just play points for points right now with the Lions. Not enough time for that. Drovers need to start forcing some turnovers and missed shots.
Tucker tried to find Lloyd. Lloyd battling. Feimster in the corner. Way up ahead to Gentry.
Missed, but the foul. The foul comes in.
Scott.
On Siobhan Scott.
Wondering why, but he did make contact.
And Gentry will go to the line. The Lions, again, every single second that ticks off right now is in favor of the Lions as they are holding a 14-point advantage. Gentry misses the first though, so with 3 minutes left, you see the foul here, just a bit of a touch on the hand of Gentry as he went up.
Use your legs.
Gentry makes it's a lane violation on Feimster, so the shot will not count. So count it up for the Drovers. They've now stopped the Lions from scoring on 2 consecutive possessions. Now they have to go make these count. And the Lions pull a little bit of full court press. Not even really trying to steal, more just trying to get the clock moving.
Scott thought about it.
Here comes the 3. And it's off the mark. Rambo pulls the rebound down. We're under 3 minutes to play now.
Feimster stutters, looking for Adoy. Blocked by Lloyd, and here come the Drovers. Reynolds.
And Rambo tries to steal it, can't quite come up with it.
Scott over to Leonard, or to Lloyd, and loses the ball out of bounds. And looking for point number 20. The basket was just too big.
And if you're the Drovers now, you stop the Lions on 3 consecutive possessions, only managed 2 points. You kind of missed an opportunity. You had a chance to get this back down to a single-digit game if you'd played your cards right on these Lions errors. Instead, the Lions now, Rambo running the clock a little bit, and wisely so.
Adoy, not afraid to take that shot. Burns more time. Walter in the paint. Works left. Soft touch. Good. Jonathan Walter. He's got 19 now. 19 in the game. Lead back up to 16.
And we're now under 2 minutes to play. Three-pointer is good. So Tyler Reynolds,
A timeout.
quick timeout called as the Drovers cut it back to 13. And so if you're the Lions, minute 55 left, up by 13, you'd like to say, okay, you pretty much have control of this game. You don't usually see leads like that blown, but like you said, they led by double digits against Texas Wesleyan all the second half. And then in the finals closing seconds, they were just up by 4. Against Mid-America, they were ahead by 11 with a minute and a half to go. Mid-America forced some turnovers, made some shots, and then got fouled on a three-pointer and went to the line just behind by 4 points. Missed the free throw, had a chance to rebound it and put it in to cut it to 2. Just barely missed that. So the Lions have been a little bit shaky in the closing 120 seconds of the last 2 games.
Here's a nice move from Gentry.
And here is that play we talked about earlier, just spinning. That came just before the dunk, but
You see him looking for the ref for the whistle.
yeah,
None came.
he'd have loved that. But yeah, just amazing control by Gentry. He only, again, mentioned every other player's in double figures for the starters, except for him. He only had 7. Not an outstanding scoring game for him, but he's had some amazing assists and some really big shots when they counted. Remember to stay connected with our social media, especially on Facebook and Twitter, when it comes to road games. We're your premier source of bringing you as up-to-date scores and stats as we can when the Lions hit the road. They're at home, though, for the next 2 games against Oklahoma City and John Brown. Monday night we'll be here with those tip-offs being 6 and 8, the women at 6, the men at 8. And then John Brown, such a big game for both teams. 6 and 8 again before the Lions go on a 3-game road visit.
Joy went over his back.
Somehow it stayed in bounds and the Lions keep possession. And Rambo's going to say, you know what? I think we're going to take that gift and run some clock.
Joy finds Feemster. A long arching 3-ball. He is on the money. Feemster with 13.
And the lead is back up to 16, and Feemster might have just flipped a light switch. I said that as soon as Tucker hit his 3. 13-point advantage, though, for the Lions.
And now look for some fouls. We have to stop the clock, USAO.
Long over to Feemster. Thinks about it, but wisely picks it up and lets the clock run. Rambo will shoot it, though.
Look good. Didn't fall. That would have sealed it. And now under a minute. The Drovers have magic. That's a good
Lloyd
start.
again.
Lloyd, another alley-oop power dunk. He's got 20.
Well, you know, if you can't win the game, might as well get some extra highlights. Lloyd throws that down.
Feemster once more.
No good. Drovers get the rebound. Quickly pushing it down. Chance to make this a 1-digit game. Does not fall, though. Adoy gets the rebound.
That should wrap it up.
And the Drovers, looks like they're just going to let Rambo shoot it.
Off the mark. Drovers now down to 23 seconds, 11-point deficit. Adoy lets him pass.
They cut it to 9. And now the Drovers, they'll put some
foul.
pressure, but they won't foul. The Lions will run the clock out. And again, the Lions weather a very strong opponent, a team that just wouldn't ever go away, but the Lions hold on till the end and claim the victory to move to 5-0 in the conference and 12-1 on the season. And with this being the last game until the new polls come out, the last game to be considered, I'm pretty sure the Lions' #2 ranking will be safe.
If University of Pike happens to fall, the #1 team in the land will be your Lions. Lions had a 16-point lead, what felt like just a few minutes ago. The Drovers able to cut it to 7, but time just runs out on science and arts, and they'll drop to 2 and 3 in conference play. Lions remain undefeated. Best team in the conference in their first year in the Sooner. Pretty comfortable.
Yep, it's been a really good start to the season, and the Lions will be looking for more. We'll go to a quick commercial break while the teams meet at midcourt for prayer. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the Schaefer Center here in Waxahachie, Texas, the home of Southwestern Summers God University. 80-73, win number 12 on the season, now 12-1 overall. #2 spot secured, and it was what we thought it was going to be right down to the end. The stats were almost dead even at halftime, Tim, and What's the final stats tell us?
The final stats show the Lions improve a lot when it comes to shooting. They push their shooting percentage up to 46%. Science and arts, though, shoot over 50% for the game, 50.8 to be exact. So they still had a very good shooting game. This game was pretty much won on the offensive rebounds. That's the biggest deficit there was. The Lions had a +5 advantage on offensive rebounds. They also were able to win the turnover margin slimly by +2. Looking at some player stats, Dominic Rambo leading the way with 23 points all overall. Jonathan Walter with 19, Feemster with 13, and Adoy with 10. Then for the Drovers, Lloyd with 21, Tucker 14, Reynolds 13, White 13 as the Lions hang on for an 80-71 win. And again, a game where they were challenged a lot. They were facing a team who essentially had nothing to lose in this game other than to come out and win. And they played very solid basketball. The Drovers showed why they are capable of upsetting top-seeded teams. Had the lead trimmed down to 6 and 7 in the second half after the Lions seemed to maybe have taken control. But then the Lions, again, just too much to handle. Like we said early on, we mentioned, well, have we seen this script before? We've seen the Lions struggle out of the gate, but they always found a way. And, well, once again, Donnie Boswick writes the script up exactly like he wants to. Starts a little bit slow, but finishes as well as he needed to off the gate. And the Lions hang on to win another one.
It's a 40-minute game, and you're playing for all 40. And that's part of the genius of Donnie Boswick, who has got his team on a roll again. We'll be back Monday night right here at 3 o'clock for the ladies.
6 o'clock.
Check that, 6 o'clock for the ladies. Thank you, Tim. Oklahoma City rolls into town. Then men will kick things off around 8 p.m. right here on the SAGU Sports Network. So, again, check out Facebook to find the highlights of all the week's games. Our producers do a wonderful job of giving you the best and brightest of all the plays on the basketball court here at the Schaefer Center. And make sure you like it, pass the word. The momentum is growing. SAGU, another win, 12-1. Until next time, this is Rob Price saying the Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. Take care.
Well, I know you, I know you, I know you. I know you wanna be here, so you just let go. And no one's ever gonna tell you no. Well, I want to, 'cause I know you, I know you. But you party on, party on. Get your party on, get your party on. This is my last advice, leave with me, 'cause you could die tonight. I got this, I got this, I got this, so go ahead. Drugs you use as a place to hide is really bad if you don't get this right. I got this, I got this, I got this, I don't need you. You got kicked out of your mother's house. You stole money from her purse. She finally found you out. You should be ashamed. Don't sit there judging me. What a waste.